What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Blue Jays franchise, but this time it's going to be in MLB The Show 17 instead of 16. We just imported it over today as the game was released, and this is going to be our first episode or first game within MLB 17 instead of MLB 16. Very excited to play this game, very excited to see the new layouts that they have, and I will be playing some Road to the Show and Diamond Dynasty on the channel as well, so stay tuned for those kinds of videos coming up. I'm very excited to do content for this year's game, as I want to do a little bit more than I did last year. I kind of slacked off. Even though the game was really good, I'm trying to get some more stuff done this year with it, because I think it's a really good game every year. So, we're in the ALCS, and if we win this game, we will sweep the Cleveland Indians and head to the World Series. And if the Cleveland Indians win this game, they will be heading back to Cleveland trying to win 3 straight after that to go to the World Series themselves. But first two on are Cesar Hernandez and Josh Donaldson for the Blue Jays, and that is going to bring up Dalton Pompey, who is going to take this one out into right field, and that's a base hit. It's going to load the bases for Jose Bautista, a man who's hit a lot of big hits in the playoffs for the Blue Jays over the years, and he is going to single that one out into left. Not quite a home run, but it is going to bring home a runner from third base. They're still loaded now as Devin Mesoraco heads up to bat. 2 outs. See if he can get anything, and he lifts this one out into right center. He's going to land behind the center fielder, Abraham Almonte. He throws it in, but that is going to be a double right there for Mesoraco, except he's tagged out, so the Blue Jays will only get 3 out of that inning. And now Marco Estrada on the mound. Had a really good first inning with 2 strikeouts, but that's not going to be any of the same right here to start off the second inning, as that is already going to be a blip on the stat line. He allows a home run to Francisco Lindor, who has been terrible this series. He gets a big hit right there, trying to get his team back in this one, as they are down 3 very early on, but nothing else was going to happen that inning. Justin Smoke now hitting against the shift, goes out all the way to the wall in left field. However, the Blue Jays learned from their mistake last inning, and that's just going to be a long single instead of a double. Not the greatest base runners that have been getting hits so far, but this is Troy Tulowitzki, and you don't have to run the bases when you hit it out of the park, and that's a 2-run shot for Troy Tulowitzki, and he is putting the Blue Jays up by a score of 5-1 now, very early on in this game, looking to take the lead and hold on to it and go to their second World Series in 3 seasons. Marco Estrada on the mound still, and that is going to be a walk for Lonnie Chisenhall. So the Indians have a runner on now for Jason Kipnis, who is going to be taking this one out over the head of Troy Tulowitzki. Didn't even try to make a play for that, and now Pilar has to throw it in, and the runner is safe at third base. So there's runners on the corner now, runners on the corners now for Matt Kemp, and he is going to lift this one out into left. And that is going to be an easy fly for Yangervis Solarte. Let's see if he has the cannon to go home. But the relay man was out of position, and so Lonnie Chisenhall is going to score right there. That makes it a 5-2 game, and now Michael Brantley is up to bat, and he takes a walk. So that is going to bring up Francisco Lindor with runners on both first and second. He already has a big home run today, and he's going to drive this one up the middle. Kevin Pillar coming to it, throwing home, trying and get Kipnis out, and he cannot. And the Indians get another one out of that. It is now a 5-3 game for Carlos Santana up to bat, and he is going to walk. So the bases are now loaded for the Cleveland Indians. And this is a weird glitch when I imported this franchise. So this is actually Ryan Cook, but I guess since Ryan Cook's not in this year's game, they just renamed him to Manny Osuna. Anyway, he pitches with the bases loaded, and that is going to go to Yan Gomes. Going for the double play, but it's a bad throw by Troy Tulowitzki, as the runner was already there. It was a hit-and-run situation, and they don't even get the runner at first. So it's a 5-4 game now, and Jung Ho Kong is up to bat, and that's going to be a ground out as the runner avoids the tag at third, but the throw to first is in time. So the Indians get 3 back in that inning, and now it's just a 1-run lead for Toronto, looking pretty dominant early. They're going to extend this lead right off the foul pole and almost in bounds. It was very close if it had another couple feet of dip to staying in the park altogether, but Jose Bautista puts the Blue Jays lead back to 2 with a solo shot. And now Luke Hochevar is in the game, and he is going to walk Lindor and then walk Carlos Santana, and that's going to bring up Yan Gomes, and this one is going to be a foul ball. We'll see if They can make a play on it, and Dalton Pompey's not going to catch that one. And then the very next pitch, Yan Gomes is going to take this one out of the park. And the Blue Jays' lead is gone just like that. What a dramatic first game to play in this year's iteration of MLB The Show. What a way to start things off. A back-and-forth battle. The Indians down big early have come back to take the lead 7-6 here in just the 7th inning. And then Jung-Ho Kang against a different pitcher. Kenley Jansen's in the game. And he takes that one out of the park over center field. And it's an 8-6 game for the Indians as Toronto is falling apart here from the pitching side of things. But you can't give up in the sport of baseball. There's not a time limit. You're not facing against anybody. All you need is one hit. And it's still pretty early in this game. Plenty of time to make a comeback. Cesar Hernandez takes that one out into right field. Dalton Pompey up with 1 out. 3-2 full count, and he is going to take that one out into left. The leap is not going to get in. That's a double for Dalton Pompey as he has come close to big home runs many times this season, but it hasn't quite gotten there. Jose Bautista, speaking of big home runs, can he deliver right here? He's going to take that one out into left, and it's caught on the fly by Francisco Lindor. And so that is going to make it 2 outs for the Blue Jays, and Yangervis Solarte up to bat. Bottom of the 7th, and he smacks this one out of the park. A 3-run home run from Yangervis Solarte, and the Blue Jays are back on top by a score of 9-8 here in the 7th inning. A big home run, and that might just be enough after Kenley Jansen pitched another scoreless inning. Roberto Osuna in the game now, and this is Carlos Santana. It's lifting, and it's foul. So, big opportunity missed right there on the foul ball, and then he is going to strike out later in the at-bat. After he was up, Yan Gomes will ground out, and that is going to bring up Jung-Ho Kang 1 strike away, and the Blue Jays are going to get it as he swings through the changeup. The Blue Jays are headed to their 2nd World Series in 3 years, 2nd World Series of this franchise after making the ALCS 3 years in a row and losing to the Astros last year. They are back as the victors of the American League, and they will be taking on the Giants or the Mets in the World Series. That remains to be seen as the NLCS is actually a competitive affair. This series, even though we had a good game to end it off, was not very competitive as we killed the Indians in the other 3 games, and it wasn't even a close run differential in any of those games. But they made it a good last effort. They still could not come out on top, and that's going to do it for the Indian season. Toronto is on to the World Series. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more MLB 17 The Show, Blue Jays franchise. See you next time.
Tonight's paid attendance at the Rogers Center, 50,516. The Blue Jays thank you for your continued support.